The state of Missouri is on edge tonight as the community in Ferguson anxiously awaits the grand jury decision on the indictment of Officer Darren Wilson for the shooting death of Michael Brown Jr. The teenager was unarmed in the deadly encounter, which sparked demands for justice and protests that turned violent. Missouri has now declared a state of emergency ahead of the jury's announcement. St. Louis's mayor says officials are taking all necessary precautions. Our correspondent Shahan Ramkisoon is here with more. Shahan.
Well, Debbie, dozens of demonstrators marched in Clayton today against what they call delayed justice. Protesters expressed anger that 101 days after Michael Brown was shot and killed, it's still unclear if Darren Wilson will go to court. It comes as audio and video was released over the weekend, revealing more details about what happened on August 9th. The fatal shooting that rocked Missouri and shocked the world happened in just 90 seconds. That's according to an audio recording released by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. The paper says at noon, Officer Darren Wilson responds to dispatch about a stealing in progress, asking if he's needed.
21 to 25 or 22. You guys need me?
7 seconds later, officers report the suspects have disappeared.
Dispatch, can you relay? I couldn't hear him.
He thinks that they disappeared.
Sir.
At 12:02, Officer Wilson apparently responds.
21, put me on Canfield with 2 and send me to our car.
And just like that, the paper says Michael Brown was shot dead and this call was made. The sound of a woman shocked at the sight of his body is clear.
Get us several more units over here. There's going to be a problem.
Are there any available Ferguson units who can respond to Canfield and Copper Creek advised?
The paper also reveals surveillance footage of Darren Wilson leaving the police station for the hospital just 2 hours after the incident. It then shows him in a white shirt returning. Now, experts say that footage will be scrutinized to see if Darren Wilson did sustain injuries to the face. He claims he was attacked by Michael Brown before the fatal shooting. Debbie?
Thank you, Shahan. Joining me now in studio is Royce Russell, who is a civil and criminal defense attorney specializing in police brutality cases, and as well Tom Ruskin, who is a former New York City police officer and currently a private investigator. Welcome back to Arise America, guys. It's good to see you.
Thank you.
Okay, so these recordings of the conversation between Officer Wilson and other units and dispatch have now been released. And what we know now is there was 90 seconds between the beginning of the encounter and the shots fired. What does that mean to you?
It means a long time. 90
seconds is a long time?
If we remain silent for 90 seconds, people would be turning off their televisions and going to other stations. 90 seconds in the life of a shooting incident is a long, long time. Most incidents in New York City take 5 to 7 seconds. 3 to 5 shots are fired. Normally, police officers miss with their first or second shot. 7 seconds. You have another 83 seconds of time to go with a shooting incident that happened in this case.
That's so interesting to me because they escalate from walking in the middle of the street to being shot dead. 90 seconds.
Well, I think we learn a lot from the audio, right? One, we learned that it's the 90 seconds and we focus immediately on that. And I'm not so fast to say that 90 seconds is a long time because it depends upon from whose perspective. A trained officer who has a gun, 90 seconds could be a long time. A civilian who's maybe tying his shoe, having a conversation, 90 seconds can go by like this. So if you're speaking from a perspective of Michael Brown, I'm sure that 90 seconds went by very, very, very quickly. If you're speaking from a perspective of a police officer who's trained to have a gun, maybe the 90 seconds went a little bit longer. But what is most alarming is that what we see from the audio is the consistent ability of no matter what the police, no matter what state we're in, police officers in their investigation, they come out front with a story. And then when you get more information, the story kind of changes. So we learned from the audio that Michael Brown fit a description. We learned from audio, police officer went to that location and highly likely knew that he fit a description of something that took place. But before then, I was just stopping a kid that was just walking in the middle of the street. So we have to really scrutinize. Is it best for the police and law enforcement to say, let us investigate and really find out what goes on, what went on? Or is it, this immediate jumping to conclusion to insulate from liability? And then when it comes out, now the community is even more outraged.
And Tom, talk about that.
Except this story, to me, bolsters the police account of what happened that day. You have the officer obviously seeing Michael Brown walking in the center of the street. He then hears a second transmission describing the person he's seeing walking in the center of the street as a possible robbery suspect.
Let me jump in right there. Is that why he called for backup? Because why would you call for backup?
That's why he called for backup. He had two possible suspects in a robbery that he's just been given the description. The man he sees in front of him, right in front of him on the street, matches that description to a T. He then calls for backup, as any police officer.
Is that standard procedure? Because he wasn't armed. No one ever said he was armed.
We don't know if he's armed.
Well,
The police. Let me finish.
Go ahead.
The police officer who's in that car is a single-man car. It's not like New York City where you have two-man cars. You're calling for backup. He doesn't know if the man's armed. He just knows that he robbed a convenience store in the area, and this is the guy who's walking with another guy.
But let's go to the other side of your experience. The other side of the experience from this audio, we know that his mindset was to look for that individual. We know that he knew about a robbery. He may not have known about the description, but he knew about a robbery. So his mindset was to look out for an individual that may have done this. The description came through. Let's also look at the mindset of your experience. Person that grabs cigars, cigarettes, chips from a store, then escalates from 0 to 120 to now struggling with a gun, and he's inside inside the police officer's vehicle to try to take that gun. That's a big jump in criminality.
Well, nothing in any of the nothing in any of the transmissions say what Michael Brown was accused of stealing or robbing. As far as the cop could have been concerned, it could have been an armed robbery. No weapon was described, but the cop who's stopping him knows he robbed a store. That's what he's stopping him for. He doesn't know that he robbed a bag of chips or cigars or cigarettes or anything else.
All right. Then what does that say to that police officer's mentality, state of mind?
But that he could be approaching a man who could be armed who just robbed a store.
And therefore, he is more heightened to be aggressive and make sure that he provides safety for himself.
That's why we have the cops for.
Gentlemen, this is so good I want seconds, but I got to stop right now. Royce Russell, Tom Ruskin, thank you so much. Good to see you too. And you're watching Arise America.